What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. We're here today in Golden Skull Tier 3 on Elite, and I can't see where I'm going. When I read my page, I walk into things. Clearly, I'm a klutz. Yes. This is as you can probably already figure out, a fiery stratum. We're going to start with beasties, but there's a bunch of other stuff in here we're probably going to run into. So remind me to change my loadout, because that's something I never do. So yeah, predominantly fire, and I shall try not to get set on fire too much, because that's never fun. At any rate, yes, this is... If you have been keeping score, and I would wager many people haven't, I'm like the only one who would, this is episode 75. Which is a notable milestone. Okay, seriously, you stop healing that bloody thing. Run off, yes, go. Be gone. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you! Yes, get stabbed. No, don't run away. Stupid cowardly healers. Do they have a limited amount of heals in them or something? Is that a thing? Because he just seemed to stop healing halfway through and run off. I feel like the healers like have mana or something that you never see. Because they often just seem to just stop and like, okay, well, I'm done. Like they've run out of mana or something. I don't know. They're very strange, healers. At any rate, yes, episode 75. The one thing I can take from that is, A, I'm really bad at planning notable events and creating special events for them. I feel like I should have done something notable, 75. The other thing is that... Ooh, hello, lizard men. The other thing is that I have been doing this for very nearly, assuming they've been at it on a weekly basis, as have I, very nearly almost the same length of time as the Arsenal podcast, because they've just passed week 75 as well, or episode 75 at any rate. So, assuming they've been doing it on a weekly basis since they began, we must have begun at the same time, which is weird, because I genuinely thought they'd been around since way longer than me, quite frankly. I thought they'd been around since, like, early days of Spiral Knights, you know, super early on. It was, like, one of the first things that people did, and they'd been around for years and years and years. I mean, I guess at this point they have been around for years, plural, but not years and years and years, you know, plural of plural, whatever that is. At any rate, yeah, I guess, assuming the numbers add up and are correct, we must have been doing it about the same time, which I just did not realise, and it's quite nice to know. So there you go, that's the thing. So let's do Spiral Knights news. It's about time we did, isn't it? This week, there's not a whole heck of a lot to report. Obviously, Cataclysmic Confrontation has ended. I thought there were a couple of days left in that. I went and checked yesterday thinking, I wonder when this ends. It ended on Monday as it transpires, so that was a thing. If you have not got the things you wanted, if you still need some fetches, go check the auction house. There's a few going for about 90k if you got that kind of money spare and want to invest in it for hats or pets or whatever the heck you like. That is a viable option, I suppose. I didn't realize I'd charge that up that fast, but okay. That was almost seemed slightly laggy, I would hesitate to say. But whatever. Whatever. So... yeah, if you don't wish to pay for things, if you're steadfast on grinding for things, and quite frankly, I mean, there's nothing in this game you can't grind, because quite frankly, if you can buy it with money, it's still a grind. You're just grinding the money to get to buy the things that you want, you know. You can get a pair of exotic wings or whatever as a grind if you just grind the money and then buy it on the auction house. It's still a grind. Instead of getting materials or whatever, you're just grinding money. I don't see... Some people seem to sort of object to that kind of thing, but for me, it's like almost exactly the same thing. I don't see why it differs. It should not differ. It does not differ. At any rate, yep. That's gone. That will be back. If you want to do it the hard way, that will be back in 6 to 9 months. If you got a bit of money and you wish to shortcut the process, head to the auction house and you can go get your things. Matter of fact, I did see earlier today there is still a Book of Dark Rituals on there, so if you got 1.3 mil to spare, well, you can still get yourself a black cat cowl even without doing the event. That would be something. I presume the books still work after the event. I haven't tested it or even done my research, but I assume, given that the cat you turn it into is still in Moorcroft and you can still get the books, I imagine you can still summon Margrel at any time. I don't know that this is the case, but I am assuming it's the case. Anyway, other news. I believe I've heard tell that the test server was open again very briefly this time to test. Actually, it may still be. I don't know whether it closed or how long it was open for. I heard that it opened. I assumed it wouldn't open for very long because it didn't before, but I could be wrong. It may still be open, but it was certainly open, and may still be open, to test the new guns for the gunner update in PvP circumstances. So if you were interested in it from a PvP perspective, that is a thing you should have been looking to check out, and indeed potentially should still be looking to check out, depending on whether it's still running or not. I didn't see what level this was. Let us gate map it. We are doing Devilish Dredgery. Oh, hello. That's a nasty level, isn't it? In that circumstance, we should probably put on our Paladin gear, which... Devilish Dredgery very rarely has anything that's... Otherwise, I shall have a Blitz Needle instead of a... Actually, no. No, I do quite like voltages against Devilites. That'll be a thing. Yeah, let's do that. So, Blitz and Voltage, that'll work. That will be a thing. So, yeah, gunner update should potentially be fairly imminent. One would imagine that further testing would mean it's fairly imminent. It could be Three Rings trolling you, though. They could just be, you know, let's put it on the test server now and release it in 6 months' time. That would entertain me no end, just from the forum rage, but that's neither here nor there. Angry people are always funny to watch, you know? Especially on forums, because they're so incoherent most of the time. So yeah, one would imagine that it could potentially be out today. It seems like that's really close to Cataclysmic Confrontation, and you might, like, give it a week or so. I don't know, though. You never know with Three Rings. They've done stuff fairly close together in the past as well, so... The one recurring track record that Three Rings do seem to have is that you really can't predict quite what they're going to do, because they've done so many different things over the years. They've had so many different approaches to various different promotions and stuffs, and they keep mixing it up, obviously like the new prize boxes these days. Now we've got an entirely different format for the prize boxes, so now you got to buy all the prize boxes separately. Okay, I thought a Devilite would spawn there. It didn't. I'm trying to preempt things. Oh, there's some stuff. Uh-oh, I'm gonna get fire! No! I'm fired! No. Uh-oh. I really am fired. Oh. Let's... die! Well, that's, Oh, I'm still alive. I still have pills. Let's do this. And then... back off this way. And then assess the damage. The damage is... oh dear. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Run away and do this! Run away and do this! I can't see what I'm hitting. I assume I'm hitting something. Seems like a comfortable assumption to make. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. No! No! Don't. Give me the hearts. There we go. That's a good hit. That was a good hit. See? It's got some good range on it. It's comfortable to assume that you're going to hit things from miles away. And the only people left are yes men. Good. This is good. I can deal with that. So, in other news, a thing that I need to be, and probably will be, telling you on a weekly basis, reminding you of, up until the event, the Arsenal podcast will be hosting the Spiral Lights charity livestream for raising money for charity water over at twitch.tv/spirallights on June the 6th and 7th from 2 PM. I will be there, Sir Jinxable will be there, other people from the Spiral Knights YouTube community will be there, including the Arsenal podcast, obviously, since they're hosting it. It would be very strange for them to not be there. And, yeah, you should totally come and check that out. Come join us from 2 PM on June 6th and 7th at twitch.tv/spirallights, and we'll be hosting, what do you call it? It has a name, the thing. Shopping list. Shopping list, I presume it's going to be Season 3 and 4 is what it will be identified as. And there will be an opportunity for you to be a part of it. I got the figure wrong in the comments last week, so I shall correct myself now. Apparently it was also wrong on the website. But if you, as part of the charity fundraiser, donate $5 or more to Charity Water... Is it Charity Water? Yes, it's Charity Water. They're doing. There's a few sort of live stream video making fundraiser things that I follow, and it's like, wait, hang on, Is that the right charity? Yes, it's charity water for this one. And if you donate $5 or more, you will be entered into a kind of a raffle kind of deal. Yikes, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. You'll be entered into a kind of a raffle kind of deal, and you will, if you are drawn, you will be able to take part in as part of one of the teams for the shopping list season 3 and 4, taking place one on each day. And then there's some other stuff that'll be going on. Ooh, this is a scenario room, isn't it? It's got a things to do. It's one of those things. It's a weird summoning ritual kind of deal, isn't it? And sometimes it summons money, and sometimes it summons devilites, I think. And I'm dubious as to which I'm going to get. It's bound to be devilites. It's always devilites. So, no, don't trident me, you bastard. So yes, don't forget to check that out. $10 will get you into a raffle, I believe, for a drawing for. I think it's on one of the heart crests, one of the things that was in the prize boxes from Valentine's Day. Those, I believe, are kindly donated by 3 Rings themselves for the purposes of the giveaway, which is kind of cool. Beyond that, there's a $15 one, which I'm not entirely sure what that gets you in on. 5 ways to appease your pit boss. There is a drawing for that. Is it a pair of wings or an aura or something? There's something relatively valuable, and I forget what it is. And if you donate $15 or more, you'll go into a drawing for that. You also go into all the drawing for the lower ones, so you will also be able to enter in to become a part of the shopping list or win a heart crest or whatever if you donate $15. Hooray! Loot. That was totally worth it. So that's that. Don't forget to check that out. Speaking of the whole charity thing, weirdly enough, for whatever reason, I decided to check. Destructor of War says, "Can you give me a shout?" Yes, yes. Have a shout out. Destructor of War says hi. Fine, whatever. Don't get in the habit of that, people. That's not a free reign for everybody to start messaging me mid-videos for shout-outs. I'm not going to do that if everybody does that. That's a one-off thing, okay? Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I was checking the website randomly the other day. I just happened to be looking on. It was the Button Mash website, and I just noticed the widget looked different to every other time I've looked at the widget. The widget being the one that was tracking the Clockworks for Charity livestream that I did back in November that I've never removed from the website. And where it has said £130 since November, it said that. Now all of a sudden it says £140. Trying vainly to remember not merely my login credentials, but what website it actually was to get to the actual thing for the Child's Play charity widget. I did eventually manage that. And there is a £10 donation from the middle of April from an anonymous person. And, oh my god, freaking Devilites, seriously. They suck, they really do. Especially the fire ones. No! Stop! With your tridents and spears and whatnot and etc. Just, will you die? Good, you did. You just dropped dead. That's okay. I'm okay with this. And you stop sidestepping. Stop being a yes man. Man, I hate Devilites. I really do. But hey ho. This is what we're dealing with today. So yes, thank you to whoever donated £10. That's crazy, especially as I didn't offer any incentive to do that. Not in the short term, anyway. At one point, I did say that for if we hit the £500 mark, or possibly 1,000, I forget what I actually said now, that I would try to do another charity live stream myself. That's probably not going to be viable in the near future, even if I were to try and do that, just on the basis that my internet's really, really not up to it. I kind of need a source of income so that I can afford better internet so that I can do that, which is kind of a thing. So either YouTube needs to start paying me money, or I need a new source of revenue. Oh no, not a compound, and I have no emergency revive, so I'm not going to get my health back before I go in. Hate compounds. Hate compounds. Oh well. Anyway, Chittering Burrows. That's undead, yes? Oh, good, I'm still wearing my paladin gear. That should suffice, I guess. So, yeah. I would like to do that. I can't afford to do that because I need to buy the better internet, and the better internet costs me more money, and I don't have that excess disposable income to invest in upgrading my infrastructure. So, YouTube needs to be more successful before I can actually make upgrades is kind of where I'm standing at. Or I need to get a job. One of the two, you know. Anyway, I've rambled on about junk for long enough. Let's do some questions. This is what we do. You can leave questions in the comments below, and I will attempt to answer them for you. And you'll get a mini shout-out when I do. That rhymes and you know it. Sky Scythe last week left me a list of, I believe it was 39 questions, which means that, quite frankly, we are probably going to be answering his questions for, like, the next 8 to 10 weeks if I'm to work my way through that lot. So if you don't want him to hog the entire limelight for the next 8 to 10 weeks, I would suggest that you leave some questions of your own so that I may answer them instead of his, because that would... Otherwise, he's the only option in town. I'm going to have to go with his questions, and you'll want your own questions answering, right? Not just Sky Scythe's, right? That's the thing. So, let us begin with what he has to say, some of which are quite offensive and got my attention because they were fairly offensive. Hang on, I don't want to get stomped by a lumber while I'm doing this. Let me just clean up house here. One was, I've heard tell the food across the pond is so bad your national food is fish and chips. I'm going to take a pill. There we go, don't want to burn to death. But I've not researched this and would rather hear you rant about it anyways. You clearly have done zero research, sir. Fish and chips is a delightful food. Calling it a national dish is a little grandiose, I feel. I wouldn't particularly say it was the national dish. It's perhaps a stereotype, certainly. Potentially that's a thing. We are known for having a lot of fish and chip shops and eating a lot of that. I wouldn't say it was a national dish. A national dish sort of implies that at some point the government's made an official decision that this is going to be... It's like a flag or something. You do get this sort of... I think you get like national flowers and stuff, and there's a lot of things that the government do decide, oh yes, this is going to be our national thing. And I'm not sure fish and chips is the national food of Britain, but... certainly are plenty of fish and chip shops, and they're pretty damn good, and you are missing out if you've not tried them. And I'm going to be really offensive and generalise here, because like most of the rest of the world, I'm just going to make the sweeping assumption that Canada is pretty much the same as America. And from my experiences in America, well, firstly, there ain't anything particularly notable about the food over there. That just seems to be whatever, mostly fast food and takeaways and junk, you know, mostly the same kind of junk we got over here. You still got your McDonald's, you still got your Burger King, you still got KFC, whatever. It's all much of a muchness. And quite frankly, your lack of fish and chip shops appalls me. I have been on 3 occasions now to Boston, a city known for its seafood. They have seafood shops everywhere, restaurants even, not particularly shops. And they're like, oh, check out the seafood, it's the best seafood in the US, and they love their clam chowder and things. Ain't no fish and chip shops, though. You don't do fish and chips. What the heck's up with that? Why would you not do fish and chips? It's an amazing food. Is that, do I need to move to America just to open up a fish and chip shop because none of you have that? That seems like a thing I could do and perhaps should do, because people sort of... Seems to be the way things work in Britain anyway. People from other countries move over to this country, and the one thing they have to bring to the culture is their own food and cuisine, so they open up Chinese restaurants or Indian restaurants or Thai restaurants, or... I'm mostly going with the Orient there, but hey-ho. Or Italian restaurants, that's the one, or French, or... wherever you're from in the world, restaurants. There's a fantastic one that's not a million miles from, which is I think Nigerian cuisine, and it's got a 0-star rating from the health inspector. It's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to eat there, you know. I'm sure Nigerian cuisine's lovely, but until you get better than 0-star, I'm going to give that one a miss, you know. But hey, that's by the by. Britain, yeah, its culture is sort of, it's a weird one. I really don't think there's much that particularly defines us. It's one of those countries that, if you ever do British history, you'll find that Britain mostly seems to be defined by the countries that either they have conquered as part of their empire or have been invaded by throughout the millennia. We're invaded by the Romans and the Vikings and other people, and then we had an empire, and we went around and we were like, oh, do you have a flag? No flag, no country. And whilst we're at it, we're going to take your food, and then we ended up with tea being a British thing, and ended up with a taste for curries. I mean, I have heard tell, I'm not sure the exact origins of it, but I hear tell that tikka masala is not actually an Indian curry, it's a curry that British have invented based on what they thought Indian food was or something. I was like, that sounds entirely plausible, actually. So, that could be a thing. So yeah, we just take other people's cultures, we don't actually particularly create anything of our own, so that's British food for you. The one thing I will note is if you go into places like a Chinese restaurant, quite often there'll be a section on the menu that says British food or English, I think is what it is. And the one thing every restaurant lists in this section is omelette. Apparently, the Chinese think that stereotypical British cuisine is omelette, and that's it. That's all we eat, I guess. I guess the French stereotype is roast beef, because they call us le roast beef, but I don't know, I guess roast beef's alright. I don't object to an omelette, but I wouldn't say I particularly live off either of them. I mean, you wanna define my diet, I pretty much live off pasta bakes, actually, but that's just that's just cheap food for somebody who don't have much money, and it's pretty tasty anyway, so yeah, that's my living. It's good living. I will stand by it. You can stop chasing me around the room doing that, whilst I attend to all these buttons, find the butons and shoot them. There's a buton. A buton that will summon scarabs. There's another buton for more scarabs. They're all scarab butons. What about you? Are you a scarab buton? You are. Good. You also open the door, which is what I wanted, so I can get out of dodge. Ow, ow, ow. Nope. See you all later. I have no interest in completing that room. It's a horrible room. See you all later. Oh, that did work. Okay, cool. Next question. For a brief period following the Battle Sprites update, Almirian Crusaders, the Legion of Almire mission, dropped 1 Crimsonite each that instantly went into your inventory. Why do you think this was removed? Because game design. Quite frankly, that's a bit weird. That's kind of, especially as it's a pet food, that's a little bit OP. You would be able to go through Legion of Almire and pick up a buttload of Crimsonite for, like, whatever effort. If you can do it without reviving, then it's just a thing that you do. And you would end up with a load of Crimsonite for, like, no reason, and it would make leveling a Dracon considerably easier, certainly. I think it was removed because no other mob in the game does that. That's clearly not a mechanic they intended on having in place. It's a bug, quite frankly. I hadn't heard of this at all. This is not a thing I was aware of. We are doing constructs. Let's put on some construct gear then. Where are we looking? Deconstructor, that'll do me. Cool. Let's go fight some robots. I wasn't aware of that bug such as it was, but it does sound like a bug, just, you know. It just sounds like one. There's nothing else in the game that has that mechanic. It doesn't sound like it's the sort of thing that should happen. And it does sound, you know, a bit cheaty and a bit overpowered, and quite frankly, they shouldn't be doing that. I'm assuming when you say Crimsonite, we are talking not red shards, we're talking about the actual mineral, right? And no other mobs actually drop straight up a mineral. So, it probably shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be in the game. So, it's a bug, it was removed, that's game design. That's how the world works. Welcome to game design, folks. You remove the bits that are broken, and then don't add any new content for 6 months. No. 3 rings are great. We love them, right? We love them even more when they actually give us the gunner update, but hey-ho. That's an entirely other thing. Do you want, if you could make a career out of YouTube, would you do it exclusively? Yeah, probably. I've been saying that for like 2 years now, coming up on. It will be in August. August I will have been doing this for 2 years. Yes, I enjoy this. I enjoy this greatly. I enjoy having the free time to do what I want and make my own schedule. And if I want to have a day where I sit and make 3 or 4 videos and edit and render and then find some time, probably overnight, to upload the whole lot, and then just sit back and chill for the rest of the week because I've got all my work done earlier in the week, well, I can do that, and I enjoy being able to do that. And then if I want to just sort of go through the motions and make 1 video a day, that's also a thing I can do. To be honest, it is quite satisfying to get a whole load of work done ahead of time. Were I to do it full time, I'd probably try and do 2 videos a day, but I would also require better internet, but as I say, that would also allow me to stream. I would totally be doing more. If it was a full-time thing, I'd be doing a lot more content, to be honest. And my internet at the moment, given that I don't have the revenue income source, whatever, money, I don't have money, I can't really do... I'm kind of at my limit for content that I can create, just limited by my internet bandwidth right now. Had I got better, I would be able to create more content, I suspect, and I would probably attempt to do so. But for now, I am limited, so that's a thing. But yeah, would totally do that if I could. Do you watch any small channels that your subscribers will likely have never heard of, or was that list exhausted in this spiel? Referring, of course, to last week when I talked about lots of YouTubers that I watched. I probably did exhaust that list fairly exhaustively last week, I would say. I mean, how are we defining small? Like sub 10,000, I guess. Like I said, there's Katarbos, who does a lot of indie game content. If you like the kind of the other content that I put out on my channel that's not Spiral Knights, where that's many people are subscribed to me just for Spiral Knights, I'm aware of that. But if you do watch my other content, his is similar to that, so that kind of thing. That's fairly entertaining. There is Mr. Mod from the Strangeland server. He does his charity fundraiser marathon thing within Euro Truck Simulator, not entirely dissimilar to Farlands or Bust, where he talks about other stuff that people ask. Not entirely dissimilar to Spiral Spiel, so he's good to watch. It's my kind of entertainment. That's why I'm doing it, because I like it. There is... Oh, Gunshy Pigeon, I know I occasionally mention from time to time, and I'm hesitant to do, because his video quality, production quality is kind of weak. His entertainment, he's not bad. He's a fairly funny guy. I sometimes watch him just for a giggle, because he's fairly entertaining, but yeah, his things like aspect ratio and his intros and stuff are just kind of really basic. And yeah, his aspect ratios are frequently completely wrong, and video squeezed up into a tiny square in the middle, and it's I'm just trying. This is constructive criticism. It's not just it's bad. It's just he's straight up just doing it wrong. Quite frankly, video should neatly fit the borders that YouTube provides. The 480 or 720 or 1080 or whatever you're going to use. Make your video be that size, and then it will fit nicely on the screen. It's just kind of basics, quite frankly. And he's been at this longer than I have, so it's kind of I feel like he should have learned something by now, but doesn't seem to have bothered to, which is unfortunate, because I would like to see him succeed. But hey ho. There was obviously all the other Spiral Knights guys there. If we're talking sub 10k, yeah, there'll be that. But I have alt tabbed. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. But chances are you're probably subscribed to most of them. Like I say, there's people like Chalk3, probably no. I mean, in YouTube terms, he's quite small. He's only got about 4,000 subscribers, but in Spiral Knights terms, he's obviously like, 5 times bigger than me-ish, give or take. So chances are people who know my channel will know Mr. Chalk3's channel, so that's the thing. Latizan is also pretty well known. I've talked about him enough times, as is Sir Jinxable. We're all one and the same and reasonably equally notable, I would probably have said. So you all know them. Who else is there? I feel like there's someone else I missed. I mentioned Mod, yes. Gunshy Pigeon, Katarbos. That's probably most of the small ones I do subscribe to. I mean, I'm trying to think, are there any kind of moderate ones I subscribe to? There isn't. I'm kind of subscribed to big names and little names. There's no one kind of just sat in the middle, but hey-ho. We appear to be at the end anyway, so that seems like a good place to wrap it up. So yeah, thank you very much for those questions, Sky Scythe, and if anybody else wants me to answer questions that are not from Sky Scythe next week, please leave them in the comments below so that I may answer them. So if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because that helps me out a bunch, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. I'll be making one of these every Wednesday at 6 PM EST or 11 PM GMT, and yeah, I make content every other day as well, so there's plenty more to see. So thank you very much for watching. I have been Meroka, this has been Spiral Spiel, I shall see you next time.